Welcome to another edition of Hey Bobby with Senior VP with the Cleveland Guardians. Bobby DiBiasio with us this week, brought to you by our good friends at J.W. Dodado Electric. Bobby, this team on the field has been so fun to watch this year. Stretch drive, playoffs are starting to come in focus. We won't put the cart ahead of the horse, of course, but they really took care of business against Minnesota. I wanted to talk to you, though, about the front office, and you've seen Chris Antonetti come into this organization from intern to assistant GM to president, and of course the staff that he's put together from the GMs with Mike and the assistant GMs, and the work that they are doing, scouting, drafting, trading, looking at all the things. And what we are seeing is the work that they've done on the field with this young baseball team. But I thought maybe you could take us into the front office a little bit, Chris Antonetti and beyond.
Well, Ray, I think it all begins with a philosophy that we believe in continuity. We believe in stability. I think that's one of the trademarks of Paul Dolan and his ownership of our franchise, the longest tenured owner in franchise history. We also believe in people. And as you mentioned, Chris Antonetti, Mike Chernoff, the three assistant general managers. Let me just run through some of the names. Obviously, most people know Chris Antonetti, president of baseball operations in his 24th season with the franchise. Mike Chernoff is in year 19. Three general managers, Matt Foreman, in his 10th year. Sky Andrechek is in his 13th. Eric Binder, again, these three names probably not as familiar as Chris and Cherney. Eric Binder's in his 10th year. So continuity, stability is cherished at our place. And again, we believe in people. We believe in the young people that we draft. We believe in the people that we hire on both the baseball and business side to execute our mission and our purpose. And it really does start from the top with Paul Dolan and his leadership style. And, when you have that kind of comfort and continuity and stability within an organization, good things can happen.
Bobby, and when you talk about development, we see the guys coming up in Akron here at AA. We see Lake County and all that stuff, but so much work goes in before that. Every team makes trades, and every team will make a trade and get some sort of guy that nobody knows, but they come up through. And more times than not, with the Guardians, we're getting these guys we don't know, and all of a sudden, 2-3 years down the road, we're going, oh, we got him for that. He was a throw in on that. I think of Michael Brantley and those things going all the way back to those days. But that becomes a part of the advanced work that they're doing day in, day out.
Well, the analytics, what's involved in just the multi-million-dollar baseball operations with the software and the technology and the analytics and the sports science and the things that we need to do, because again, not unique to Cleveland, but the 16 middle market teams in baseball, none of us, I challenge people all the time, give me one big time free agent who's getting 30 million or more from a middle market baseball team. They're not out there, other than the San Diego Padres, which is a unique situation because they're the only team in town. The NFL said goodbye to San Diego like they did in Cleveland. The NFL or the NBA is not in San Diego. So they have some revenue streams that are pretty unique to them since they're the only show in town. But other than that, you don't see it. So how do you compete? Where's your philosophy and strategy to compete on the baseball field? And it's believing in people, and it's believing in a process. And with us, it's the analytics, it's the sports science, it's providing our players with every resource possible. So when you trade a Corey Kluber for Emmanuel Clase, everybody gets up in arms because we know the name Corey Kluber and what he achieved in our uniform. But you don't know Emmanuel Clase, but our guys do. And all of a sudden he becomes the best closer in the game of baseball, and has elevated this team, one of the best kept secrets, I think, in all of baseball. We talk about, MVP races, and Aaron Judge to me is the hands down winner, but I think Jose Ramirez has to be right in the discussion because of what he brings value wise to this baseball team, as our big MVP. But I think right behind him is Emmanuel Clase, closing out games. So when you talk about going and grabbing players like Owen Miller and Austin Hedges and Josh Naylors and those players, for a Mike Clevenger, the fans are up in arms because they're familiar with the names of our guys, but not the other guys. But just please know, our guys deep inside the baseball operations department know those players and what we could do to help them become better with our process and systems in place. It's so when it happens again, just give our guys the benefit of the doubt, please, that they know what they're doing.
I agree with that. And, so many people talked about the Frankie Lindor trade from just a couple of years ago, Bobby. But when you look at it now, 2 years later, we may have, and it's up for debate, though, we may have the best keystone combination in the American League right now. When you talk about Rosario and Jimenez at short and second, what they're doing with the gloves and what they're doing with the bats. And those two came in the Lindor trade from just a couple of years ago. So these guys have a real good, not only analytics, because everyone has the analytics, as you mentioned, but these guys also have a gut feeling about talent. And that's what I wanted to bring out today, as well as their guts. These Chernoffs and these Antonetti guys, as Bobby said, have a real good gut on talent.
Well, they do. But more importantly than that, Ray, I think they have the gut feeling that, all right, these are talented young men that could certainly have an impact in this organization, but let's bring them into our system and see what we can do with them. How can we turn them into being a little bit better than what they were? We believe in our people, and that includes coaching, the coaching staff up and down, the strength and conditioning staff and the training staff. And how do we bring somebody aboard and make them a little bit better, that our guys see something in an athlete and then say, okay, we get our hands on them, we can mold them into being something a little bit better. What Ahmed Rosario has done this year, just his presence, the aggressiveness that he comes to the ballpark with on the base paths, and his enthusiasm, the way he plays the game, it's infectious. And all you can say about Andres Jimenez, he's an all-star and in every sense of the word, and going to get better and better. The kid's only 24 years old, so has a chance to be really, really good in this league. So not to I need to drive it home. When our guys make our guys make deals, please give them the benefit of the doubt that they know what the heck they're doing. If you haven't learned that by now over the last 10 years of the stewardship of Chris Antonetti, Mike Chernoff, and the group, you need to understand that.
How about what we did to the Twins the last couple of weekends? You and I were talking about big games coming up, and we do with the White Sox this week, but how about taking 7 of 8 from Minnesota and just stepping on their throat this weekend in Cleveland? I mean, that's outstanding baseball from top to bottom, from clutch hits to long hits to bullpen work, top to bottom. They were just outstanding.
I think the game Saturday night that went 15 innings was really a telltale sign, the symbol of who we are, this resilient group of baseball players that plays hard all game long, no matter how many innings it takes, and to go into Minnesota and sweep them. Dick Bremer, the announcer for the Minnesota Twins, their play-by-play guy on television, said it best when we won that game. He said it once before when they were here, and we had a couple walk-off wins against them in the previous time the Twins were at Progressive Field. But he said it again when Ahmed's BB that he hit at the shortstop, and it glanced off his glove, and we were able to score in the bottom of the 15th for a doubleheader sweep. And his comment was, "We have had enough of the Cleveland Guardians." And it just, yeah, for some reason, our guys were up for that challenge, understanding what it meant, that here's somebody chasing us and we're not going to let you get close. And now the Twins are under 500, and they're looking at us, up at us from 6-7 back. And now it's the White Sox, and what we have in front of us with the White Sox. So still a number of games to play. Obviously, need to keep the pedal down, and but this team knows what's in front of them and the challenge they face, and what it takes to get after it. So still a lot of baseball left in the month of September, but feel real good about where we are. Again, 5.5 months ago, Ray, we had no idea what the youngest team in baseball, what kind of identity they were going to create, both as a team and individually, and to watch all of that grow and develop all season long. Man, have we had some fun.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. You picked out the perfect word. It has been a lot of fun watching this team play and grow. And I have to say this as we close this out. I think Tito is having a ton of fun too, Bobby. I see it in his expressions, the way he's welcoming these guys in the dugout. I think he is just enjoying the growth of this team immensely.
Well, it's true coaching. It's managing. It's using his coaching staff. It's collective. It's collaborative. It's this young group of athletes who just come to the park every day with an incredible enthusiasm. And one thing that I think he has instilled in them that maybe they thought they had, but needed a man like Tito to truly instill in them, is forget about yesterday. Today is what matters, especially in the game of baseball. We can say that about life. You learn about things that happened yesterday, but you can't dwell on it. You have to move forward, always move forward. And these young kids have learned that, have embraced that. And that's one of Tito's strengths is we get after it today. Yesterday, that's behind us. And what a terrific job our coaching staff has done. Again, with our trainers and strength and conditioning guys, everybody. I brought in, Chris Valleca, the new hitting coach, changed a whole philosophy of how we go about attacking a baseball. A lot of people think it's old school, Ray, just barrel up the ball, hit the ball. Don't swing and miss. Don't try to hit a home run every time you're up. Just old-fashioned baseball in that regard. And to change an entire philosophy with a young group, that takes coaching, and that takes discipline and commitment and dedication. And it's hard work. I know Tito's having fun, but everybody is, has that extra bounce in their step, because when you get to this stage of the season, you can get awfully tired, especially what we've dealt with, 12 double headers this year and all the different things. But you come to the park because collectively you're having a blast winning, and you just can't wait to get that uniform on again.
Senior VP with the Cleveland Guardians, Bobby DiBiasio, another edition of Hey Bobby, brought to you by JW Dodano Electric. Bobby, as always, thank you for the time with us at WAKR. We'll do it again next week.
Thank you, Ray. Go Guardians.